I'm Dave Froehlich. Thanks for watching this Crime Watch digital exclusive, where we take a look back at recent crime stories that have been making headlines in our area and across the state. Court documents reveal more information about a teenager's plan to shoot up an elementary school in Northeast Austin. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shen has an update.
I grew up in this school, and I would never expect it to happen in my childhood school.
Parents still on edge at Graham Elementary after learning a teenager had threatened the school.
I'm very unhappy with it. I don't feel safe.
17-year-old Gianna Castillo is charged with terroristic threat. She's accused of planning an attack on Graham Elementary, which she previously attended. Authorities say a tipster saw her post on Instagram about planning an active shooter event and idolizing past shooters. Investigators traced the IP address. The arrest affidavit shows posts of weapons she wanted to buy, plus images in her phone that say she, quote, always had a sort of hatred for humanity. The paperwork also shows conversations with another person planning how to get weapons and when to carry out the attack. The head of the Texas School Safety Center at Texas State emphasizes the importance of speaking up if you see something suspicious.
These violence events can be prevented because the acts are typically planned in advance. This isn't just one day someone wakes up and decides to do this. And individuals typically tell others beforehand about their plans.
Since 2019, every Texas school district has been required to make a school behavioral threat assessment team available.
The idea here is we want to identify those concerning behaviors well before individuals get on a pathway to violence.
Martinez Prather says based on research, there's no profile for school attackers.
Students were, often motivated by a grievance that they had with another classmate. School attackers or attackers in general generally are feeling despondent or despair, may even be suicidal.
She commends law enforcement and the person who spoke up for their quick action.
In this situation, a terrible tragedy was avoided.
The security here has been better as well, so I do feel a little bit more secure, but what parent would like to know that their child's school got threatened?
A homeless man who's been terrorizing a South Austin neighborhood for years is back on the streets after escaping custody. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has the details.
Crosses made out of boulders.
Way to step
a
up.
sign Rami Zaweda is in the area. He's made his mark in the Westgate neighborhood in South Austin for years.
2 years of struggle.
Residents have spotted him building sculptures, taking a sledgehammer to city property, cutting down trees in the greenbelt with a chainsaw and machete, and screaming at all hours of the night.
He knows exactly how much to push before he pulls back. He knows what he can get away with.
Neighbors fought for him to get help, even testifying against him in court. On April 24th, Travis County Probate Court Judge Nicholas Chu stated Zaweda is mentally ill and is likely to cause serious harm to himself and others. He says he's suffering severe and abnormal mental, emotional, or physical distress, and it's deteriorating his ability to function independently. Judge Chu placed Zaweda on an order for temporary inpatient mental health services at the Ascension Seton Shoal Creek Hospital in downtown Austin. Residents thought he was finally going to receive help and they could start to restore the peace in their neighborhood. But that didn't happen.
All of a sudden, you'll just see him on the street and you thought he was in mental health facility. So to me, that's not okay.
Court documents say when a Smithville police officer pulled up to the front intake doors of the hospital, he opened the door to let Zaweda out. Zaweda started walking towards the entry doors and then turned and took off running into the parking lot. The officer went after him, but lost him.
How is he put in the position of being able to escape?
A warrant was issued for Zaweda's arrest. He was taken into custody on June 28th and bonded out through a bail bondsman the next day.
We were not notified when he was released, which is scary.
Residents in the Westgate neighborhood say things have been quiet there for a few months.
He has not done anything other than just make his crosses.
But Zaweda seems to have turned his attention to a neighborhood across the way.
He is retaliating harshly against them, probably for taking him, pushing the court case, probably for cleaning up his camp and disposing of some of his things.
I'm just not sure why we have to suffer for one man.
The retaliation they're experiencing may be against Zoeda's modified bond conditions. He's supposed to stay 200 yards away from specific addresses in the neighborhood. He's also required to see a psychiatric provider and follow all the recommendations, take medication as prescribed, and is forbidden to possess firearms. Residents are begging for help again.
He's a big enough case. He's been in the news. He's been such a problem over here. It's not your average day or average variety of somebody that's struggling to get on through life. He's destructive. He's threatening. He's all those things, and we can't get it shut down, and I don't know why.
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
Austin police have arrested 2 men accused of robbing several game rooms across the city. 28-year-old Isaiah Turner was booked in late August. According to arrest paperwork, police connected Turner with at least 5 armed robberies since June. In several cases, they say Turner had a gun and was accompanied by his cousin, Daniel Wright, who's charged with aggravated assault and aggravated robbery. Some of the businesses that were hit include High Octane Game Room, ST Digital, Game Room on Cameron, and Hidden Treasures on 290. Turner is being held in the Travis County Jail on more than $350,000 bond. After some high school band members performed at a football game, their buses were involved in a crash. Fox 7 Austin's Katie Pratt has the latest from the Travis County Jail.
Many parents at McCollum High School are concerned as they learn about the bus crashes involving a drunk driver.
It scared me, just a little insecure maybe about what's happening or what's happened.
The McCallum High School band buses were on their way back here to campus when a sedan swerved and hit them, resulting in the injuries of several students and both bus drivers.
My daughter was supposed to be at that game, and so hearing about something is a little bit alarming.
According to EMS, it happened near North Lamar Boulevard and San Gabriel Street around 11:30 p.m. after the Taco Shack bowl game Thursday night. 23-year-old Fallon Ramos has been put behind bars, arrested on DWI charges.
I mean, I know things like this happen, but it just really concerned me for my daughter and all the kids that were involved as well.
5 students and 2 bus drivers were hurt, 1 driver suffering serious injuries. Now, thankfully, it wasn't worse. Austin ISD is one of the few districts that has seatbelts on all buses. After a fatal bus crash in March, a 7 on Your Side investigation found some Central Texas districts are still working to get seatbelts on board. In 2017, state lawmakers passed a bill requiring all school buses to have 3-point seatbelts.
Austin police are looking for a man and woman connected to a violent robbery that left the victim unconscious. Happened in October of last year on Kin Street, just off Lamar, north of Runberg. Police say the 2 assaulted someone there, robbed them, and then took off in a Chevy Silverado pickup. We're told the truck is between a 2014 to 2018 model. If you know who these suspects are, you're asked to please call Austin Police. A reward is available for information leading to an arrest. New developments in the investigation into a gunfight caught on camera in Buda are now available. The Hays County District Attorney says a man who shot and killed a 17-year-old will not be charged with murder because the shooting was justified as self-defense. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has the update.
Video evidence helped clear a man who was facing serious time behind bars.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, especially in a courtroom.
On August 5th at a little after 5 in the evening, investigators say 2 groups of males met in a drainage area in the Shadow Creek neighborhood in Buda to fight. A juvenile is seen on video fighting a 21-year-old. Then 17-year-old Eric Marin, who's related to the juvenile, pulls out a gun and starts shooting. A juvenile from the other group returns fire. Then the 21-year-old grabs the gun and shoots Marin dead.
That's just terrible that someone would get their life taken away at such a young age, being under the age of 18. It's just terrible in a calm neighborhood like this. I wouldn't expect that to happen.
The Hays County District Attorney's Office says Marin was the first person to draw and fire a gun. They say they reviewed all the evidence, and the shooting was justified as self-defense in defense of a third person. A grand jury agreed, and the 21-year-old will not be charged with murder.
You are allowed to use deadly force to repel deadly force, and you are allowed to use deadly force whether or not it's directed at you or at a third person.
The DA's office says the other juveniles involved may still face charges.
The goal of the juvenile prosecutors of the justice system here would be to find some reason to bring these kids who probably could use some type of rehabilitative measure, bring them into the fold and get them the help that they probably need.
Investigators have arrested a suspect for a fire that broke out at a meth lab in Luling. That fire happened at a business in late August. The Luling Fire Department called the State Fire Marshal's office to help with the investigation. Investigators found guns, liquid methamphetamine, and about $820,000 in cash, gold, and silver. The suspect's name has not been released. Don't forget to lock your car doors. That's the message from Leander Police as they say cases of guns are being stolen from unlocked vehicles. Fox 7 Austin's Jenna King has more.
They open the door, reach inside, boom, take out the gun. They have your gun.
It's as easy as that. Over the weekend, the Leander Police Department received multiple reports of stolen firearms. It says the thefts came from parked, unlocked vehicles in the community. That's why Leander Police is reminding the public the importance of securing your firearms at all times. It says the issue is all too common. Fox 7 previously reported in 2022 alone, nearly 112,000 firearms were reported stolen, with more than half of these thefts occurring from cars, often parked in driveways or outside residences. These stolen weapons frequently end up at crime scenes or are used in violent acts. Michael Cargill is the owner at the Central Texas Gunworks store. He wasn't surprised to hear the warnings from the Leander Police Department.
In Austin, the number one way that criminals get their hands on firearms is from vehicles, and definitely unlocked vehicles.
Cargill says his store will receive a call from the ATF saying that they're doing a trace of the firearm that they found after it was stolen. Oftentimes, he says the firearms are stolen during the late hours of the night or early hours of the morning. But there are things you can do to keep your items safe.
Remove the gun from the vehicle, because when a criminal breaks into your car, they're breaking the window or getting access to the vehicle with it being unlocked. They're going inside the center console, glove box, or under the seat. They're looking really quick, 30 seconds, and then they're out. So remove it from the vehicle, bring it inside the home, or lock it in a lockbox in the vehicle that cannot be removed from the vehicle.
Cargill says many gun stores also sell lock boxes.
Just a simple, uses a key or a combination. You put your gun in here, and then you can use this cable to secure it to something in the vehicle, like the seat or something else, and then take it, lock it, and then take that key with you.
Taking these precautions will keep weapons from falling into the wrong hands.
Some of our crazy crimes that we have here in Austin are done by minors who are getting access to stolen firearms. So please lock your gun up, or it's going to wind up in the hand of one of these minors and used in a crime or to kill someone.
A New Braunfels woman is raising a newborn by herself after the baby's father died in police custody. That happened earlier this month in San Marcos. Here's more on that story from Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis.
He's got his nose, his eyes, his cheeks.
But Grid Ryan Thornton has never met the man he resembles, his father, Dennis Ryan Thornton.
I wish you could have met your dad.
Lively Mills describes him as funny, a family man, artistic, loved music, food, and cooking, and he swept her off her feet. On the morning of August 6th, Mills and Thornton went together to her doctor's appointment in New Braunfels.
I knew something was wrong, like really wrong. As we walk into the hospital, his eyes aren't tracking. They can't hold me, and I'm having to repeat myself several times.
Mills says she told Thornton to stay downstairs because he didn't want to go into the doctor's office, and she went upstairs for her appointment. Mills says before she walked in, she told the receptionist she'd like someone to check on Thornton.
I thought, you're in the safest place possible. You're in the hospital. If anything goes wrong, you're right here. I thought I did the right thing by having eyes on him when my eyes couldn't be on him.
When Mills got out of her appointment, police told her they couldn't find Thornton.
And I'm like, okay. That's not abnormal. Throughout the year that I've known him, and particularly the 6 months leading up to this, sometimes Ryan just needed quiet. And he would always like reach out.
But he never did. San Marcos police say when they eventually found him, he was on I-35 over Posey Road after multiple callers told them a man was running in and out of traffic and acting erratically. The officer who approached Thornton says they asked for his name. He responded with incomprehensible noises, then charged at the officer. He was tased and eventually put in a full-body wrap restraint.
Why wasn't EMS called? Why wasn't he given water? If he truly was not audible.
Officers took him to a local hospital. His body temperature was 108 degrees. Thornton died at around 8:30 that night. About 24 hours later, Grid was born.
He is the greatest blessing that he left me with.
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
Now to a shocking story out of the Houston area. A third-grade teacher is accused of being involved in a drug conspiracy and conducting business around children. Fox's Dominique Keith explains.
In addition to being arrested at school by the feds, 34-year-old Sheldon ISD Garrett Elementary School third-grade teacher Jessica Ferguson now also has the Texas Education Agency looking into whether she will keep her teaching certification. According to these federal Department of Justice documents, Sheldon ISD third-grade teacher Jessica Ferguson now faces life in prison and is charged with conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance. She and 19 others were recently arrested, including Alfred Jacoby Green, who federal agents say was one of the leaders of a local gang. During federal surveillance and wiretaps, according to court records, Ferguson is on the phone with Green and they're, quote, scheming together on ways to recover money seized from what they thought was lost luggage that investigators say had smuggled cocaine inside. The court docs go on to say the, quote, elementary school teacher had these conversations with Green during the school day with school children present. Children's voices were audible in the background.
I just think that's crazy. Like, I wouldn't feel safe with my children there. You never know what could happen.
Yeah.
Anybody could retaliate the wrong time around your children.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's just not what you think of when you think of a teacher.
Yeah, you think of a teacher like being happy to teach a kid, like learn something new, but no. That's crazy.
I can't believe she was doing that at the school. Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah, it's real unbelievable.
The Texas Education Agency now lists Ferguson as, quote, currently under review by the TEA Educator Investigation Division. Sheldon ISD says Jessica Ferguson has been placed on administrative leave and that no children witnessed her arrest. At Garrett Elementary, I'm Dominique Keith, Fox 26 News.
A Harris County deputy constable was murdered while on his way to work. Officials say it happened when he was stopped at a red light in his personal vehicle. A gunman walked up and started shooting, hitting that deputy several times. The deputy, identified as Maher Hosseini, died at a local hospital. Harris County Precinct 4 Constable Mark Herman said Hosseini had been with his office since 2021 and had recently been promoted. The suspect was found in Galveston. New details out of Dallas, where the FBI is now offering a $25,000 reward as they search for the woman accused of killing her 6-year-old son. Fox's Deion Englund has more.
Nearly 2 years after the search for Noel Rodriguez began, the mystery surrounding the presumed dead 6-year-old Everman boy continues.
The community of Everman needs justice for Noel.
And Thursday, the first public appeal at the federal level.
The FBI is announcing a reward for up to $25,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of Cindy Rodriguez Singh. Cindy Rodriguez Singh is wanted on state charges for allegedly murdering her own young son, Noel.
Cindy Rodriguez Singh's last confirmed sighting was March 2023 at DFW International Airport with her husband and 6 other children. Authorities say Noel was not among them. The family boarded a flight to India just as local authorities had begun to investigate Noel's disappearance.
We're still standing here today. We're coming up on 2 years since the last time Noel was seen. October would make it 2 years since he was last seen. So this is very important to our community. Our staff has continued to work with all of our partners locally as well as with the FBI.
For more than a year, Fox 4 reported details of the investigation, including a search with excavation and cadaver dogs at the property where Noel lived with his mother, stepfather, and siblings in a makeshift backyard shed. Over time, the police department made assurances the investigation remains active, despite the absence of press updates, which caused publicity to wane. The case developments include October 2023, a Tarrant County capital murder warrant issued for Rodriguez Singh, and in November 2023, a federal warrant for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution.
Because we have an indictment, I know that I worked very hard to be very transparent and upfront with the media upfront, absolutely, and I've got no issue doing that. But now our primary goal has to be seeking justice for Noel. And to do that, we have to make sure that we protect the entire integrity of the investigation.
Meantime, authorities want people everywhere to be on the lookout for Cindy Rodriguez Singh, who is 5'1" to 5'3" and somewhere between 120 and 140 pounds, with tattoos on her back, arms, and legs.
She has brown eyes and brown hair. She was born in Dallas in 1985, is 39 years old, and is believed to have ties to India and Mexico. I am confident that the combination of continued publicity, the significant reward now being offered in this investigation, and the team of experienced investigators that have been assembled to address this issue are going to lead to the arrest of Cindy.
Dallas police have released dash camera video showing the end of a chase involving a police shooting suspect. DPD officer Darren Burks was shot and killed while sitting in his squad car. 2 other officers were also shot. Fox's Sean Rabb has that update.
Did felony stop. Use caution.
Corey Cobb Bay, who shot 3 Dallas police officers, killing Officer Darren Burks and leading police on a chase on I-35 into Louisville, stops his car on the freeway. Despite the racing emotions, the officer on the radio is calm in a pressure-packed critical incident.
Got a door coming open. Use caution. He's looking back, still in the car, coming out with a weapon. Nope, hands are up.
Cobb Bay gets out with hands up, then goes back to the car and gets a weapon. Officers yell for him to drop the gun.
He's got a weapon in hand. He's got a weapon in hand walking back towards officers.
The camera zooms in and freezes so you can see the weapon. Cobb Bay keeps walking towards officers who are still yelling commands. 6 officers open fire. Cobb Bay falls.
Vehicle, weapon in hand. Roll EMS. Roll EMS.
Corey Cobb Bay died on Interstate 35. His violence already done. 2 officers injured, and rookie officer Darren Burks lost his life. In the 900 block of East Ledbetter last Thursday night, Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia called it an execution.
Cobb Bay approached Officer Burks and talked with him briefly through the driver's side window as he recorded the encounter with a cell phone. The suspect then pulled out a handgun and executed Officer Burks as he sat in his vehicle.
Cobb Bay, the chief said, returned to his white sedan, getting this shotgun with a drum magazine, placing it on top of Officer Burks' squad car, waiting for responding officers. And when they showed up, he opened fire.
We came close to losing other officers who put their lives on the line to protect their brother. And it is by the grace of God they are still with us today. Our officers were targeted for nothing more than the uniform they wear and for the brave and honorable job that they do.
Sunday, Darren Burks' body in a police processional escorted to Restland Funeral Home, where he will be prepared for the celebration of his life. Outside South Central Patrol, a squad car turned shrine salutes the service and sacrifice of 46-year-old officer Darren Burks, who after 17 years as a teacher turned to policing as a second career. Niall Smith brought his daughter to pay their respects.
I'm former military, Air Force, and served the country. And I just want to help her understand patriotism and community and just, what the law enforcement does for the community and how it affects us all.
Sean Rabb, Fox 4 News.
An Uber driver is recovering after being shot in Dallas while trying to pick up a customer. Police are now looking for the three men who tried to rob him and then ran off. Fox's Sean Rabb has that story.
Dallas police detectives go over the SUV belonging to an Uber driver who was shot early Tuesday morning during an attempted robbery. The driver on a service call that took him to 1600 Pentagon Parkway and Rugged Drive in Oak Cliff, the Oak Park Estates neighborhood. He was approached by three men with guns demanding his property. He tried to get away from the trio. Multiple shots rang out, some striking the vehicle. The driver's wallet lay on the ground. Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn King Arnold represents the District 4 neighborhood where it happened and called it frustrating to learn of another assault on a rideshare driver.
We are not going to tolerate these assaults on these. These are hardworking people, and they have made a decision to serve because they need to feed their families.
The driver was hit twice. In a statement, Uber tells us this reported act of violence is terrifying, and as soon as we were made aware, we banned the rider from the platform. We've been in touch with the driver and are wishing them a speedy recovery. We're standing by to assist law enforcement in their investigation. The city put up close to $5 million incentive dollars to bring an Uber hub to Dallas, the largest Uber hub outside of San Francisco.
It makes you angry, knowing that many of these people who are out there are working either a second job or a third job. If we continue to see these assaults against hardworking people, hardworking communities, we may very well have to suffer the consequences of having a void in terms of those resources. And mobility is definitely number one on our list.
Sean Rabb, Fox 4 News.
Finally, cameras could soon be going up around the city of Kyle to help police analyze and catch criminals. It's part of a new real-time crime center at the Kyle Police Department. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has more.
Cameras, 12 of them, may soon be placed around the city of Kyle.
We would put them in high accident areas, high crime areas, places where we tend to get a lot of calls for service.
And two analysts in the Kyle Police Department Dispatch Center could watch. Using the bird's eye view, automated license plate readers, databases for name, property, and warrant searches, they're able to warn officers about the situation they're about to walk into.
We're trying to prepare for the worst by using technology to help our response, to give us a faster and more informed response.
In this real-time crime center, Kyle PD plans to use software that allows them to access already activated body-worn camera, and businesses can also share their cameras with the department.
When there's an emergency, we can access the camera systems.
It's just one more piece of technology aiding police officers.
For a mid-sized agency like Kyle PD, it is very forward-thinking.
But not all say it's constitutional.
You don't know when the government is watching. And so it sort of just leaves people with this creepy sense that someone's watching it, but they're not sure when, they're not sure where, and they're not sure what they can do about it.
McLean says it may infringe on people's Fourth Amendment right to be secure from unreasonable searches and seizures.
If most people are going to feel like something is a step too far, or like the government is snooping where they don't belong, then that's a pretty good barometer to tell that it's going to violate the Fourth Amendment.
Kyle City Council is expected to pass the budget Tuesday that includes this program, and then it can officially start. Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch.
Thanks for watching the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. Our Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. If you miss them, you can watch anytime on our new Fox local connected TV app, which is free to download, and you can watch on multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. Just scroll down from the live player and look for the Crime Watch section. For more on the stories highlighted in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.